Alabama, the land of chin diapers and civil disobedience. Well, it's Halloween. Halloween, consequently, is usually my most favoriteest holiday of all the holidays. You know, as many of you know, last Halloween I got dressed up as Captain Spaulding, and, you know, because there's a fucking resemblance. But this year, not so much. Why? Because New York is locked down as fuck, as is most of the country, to be honest with you. And even if it wasn't locked down, there's enough people scared of the virus that's going to cause 0.001% of us to die that they aren't living their lives anymore or enjoying freedom anymore. Well, there's that. But anyways, I've lost kind of my... It's just another fucking day. You know, I've got 200 more miles to do today, and then in Mississippi. And then just overall, it's just another reason I'm getting off the road. It's just there's, you know, I'm doing a lot more inward focusing things, and so it's my full-time nomadism is coming to an end. It was 9 months of being out here, living full-time. I'm going back to being a part-time nomad, as many of you know. I'll still be doing stints in the Prius. Some of them might even be long. Like, I might go out for 3-4 weeks, depending on how much I enjoy what I'm doing when I go out. You know, it'll be up to me. And I'll still be making my content and doing my things out on the road. A little bit more limited, obviously, in a Prius with what I can do, but still possible to work on things out here. You know, I've got my travel camera set up. I've got the RX 100 Mark 7, and I've got, you know, Osmo Pocket. I might be getting the Osmo Pocket 2. It's looking like a nice little rig. But very minimalistic, very small, very lightweight, and can go out in nature and on the trail. And, you know, between this and an Osmo Pocket, I can document my travels easily without bringing a shit ton of gear with me. I'm gonna adapt. I've noticed this throughout the van life community. Like, Unstoppable Morgan just made a video that she's sick of shitting in a bag and decided to rent an apartment in Niagara Falls, of all places. Like, you picked the least free state next to California to hang out in as you take your break from the road, saying that she wants to get an RV or something with a shitter in it. You know, I don't know that that's going to alleviate. To me, the deal breaker for van life isn't whether or not I have to shit in a bag or pee in a bottle, or whether or not I can get a shower except once every 3-4 days. I've gotten used to a lot of that. That's not what gets me. What gets me is just, I don't know, it's everything's gone downhill out here to the point where I don't enjoy it as much. You know, there's not a lot of touristy shit to do because of the virus and the lockdowns and the fear. Everyone everywhere is wearing a mask, which just makes me not enjoy shit to begin with. Even out in nature, like I went on a small hike with a buddy of mine in New York, and there were people out on the trail in nature outside, where the virus, you're not going to get sick there in that situation. Virus is like indoors with large groups of people. Consequently, I attended 2 of those gatherings in New York. At the same time, people are walking around with their masks out in nature. They're having secret parties and bars and shit, and it's fucking great, and I like that. That's one of the things that's reinvigorated me about maybe, you know, not giving up on New York entirely. You know, government-wise, it's a shit show, but deep down, the people are living their lives still. I'd like to see more pushback from businesses, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, as they fear Cuomo and the state liquor authority. I'm hearing that Halloween's might not even be a thing because of the state liquor authority's crackdown, so there's not going to be a lot of bars and businesses celebrating Halloween. But I guarantee you there's costume parties, there's people getting together, they're not telling anyone, and the friends who are afraid of it aren't going to go, obviously. You know, it's about freedom. You know, you don't have to do these things. It's whether or not you can do them if you want to. You know, a lot of people confuse that. Going to fucking, you don't have to go to a movie theater, you don't have to go to a bar, you don't have to go to a restaurant to survive. So why not allow people the choice to do that? They know the risks. They know that, you know, oh, they might give it to grandma. Well, they probably aren't going to hang out with grandma right now, especially since grandma's imprisoned in the nursing home most of the time. There's plenty of people that haven't even fucking visited their old parents for precisely that reason. It's not like we're all stupid out here, you know. People aren't going to parties and then going to make out with grandma. It's just not happening. At least not in New York. I don't know. I one of the reasons I'm getting out of being a full-time nomad is that society as a whole is not fun to be running around in. And being out here in the truck has not allowed me my nature time. Like, this is the fucking rest area in Alabama. I would love to go on a hike in some of the forests I've been driving through today. I went through Georgia a little bit, and just absolutely gorgeous weather for this time of year down here. You know, it's not too cold, not too warm. And I can't do that because I'm in the truck. I don't want to keep fucking living that life. And granted, I won't have as much money, and I probably will be limited in that factor, you know, but strapping a backpack to my ass and running around in the woods is not something that's expensive. Driving down south to do it might cost me a little bit, but I don't need to make $50,000 a year to do that. And I've got all kinds of plans for when I come off the road for content. I will be podcasting again. The podcast will be exclusive on Odysee because it's going to be an uncensored podcast. I'll announce it when I have the first episode posted on Odysee. So if you're not following me on Odysee/LBRY, either way, whichever interface is more comfortable for you, they're the same thing essentially. I use the LBRY client sometimes, but if I'm just watching shit, I go on Odysee, you know. So there's that. So if you're not following me on there, and also subscribe to my free email list, because that's going to be how I send you things. You know, like sometimes I might distribute audio clips alongside those podcasts, you know, that you can just download, but only to the email list. That's I need to incentivize you guys to keep you notified to watch my shit. And I know some of you would like, you know, downloadable audio files that you can just listen to while you're on the go, if you're allowed to leave the house. And I don't think it's going to get better when I come off the road. I've just accepted that New York is the way it is, and I don't need it to get better because I can escape. I have the Prius, I have the freedom of time again, and I can get out and do the things that I want to do, just not on a full-time Nomad basis. So, but I'm not alone. I mean, you got Nomadic Fanatic bought a house. Even Dave 2D quit. He got tired of shitting in a bag. Not a lot of people like shitting in bags nowadays. You know, a lot of the van lifers I follow seem to be part-timing it, and, you know, because they're not going to give it up because it's pretty much their content. Like, I don't think Unstoppable Morgan's done traveling. But it, you know, she has a point. It's her channel. She's the brand. She's the reason you watch, amongst other things. You know, is it sustainable, van life, long term? Some people swear by it. I would do it if I had a steady enough income on my side gigs and I had the room to do some of the things. Like, there's no way I could bring all my music gear out in the Prius. I can make my video content out there. I can do photography with it. So there is stuff I can do with the Prius that I will do with the Prius in my many content creation endeavors. I can work on 3D graphics. I could learn to code and write fucking software on the road if I wanted to. I mean, there's all kinds of shit I could do. I can even make some music on the road if I just bring a very minimalistic setup with my laptop. You can do a lot with a laptop and a camera. There really is a shit ton you can do. You know, I could even sing karaoke in the Prius if I wanted. All I'd need to do is bring a mixer, and I'm good to go. So, you know, these are all things I'll explore over the next year or so as I wind down out of trucking. And I am ready to wind down. I'm ready, willing, and able to get the fuck out of here. Just waiting. And I think my last week's going to be shitty. You know, they want me to take the truck in for B service and get some weird damage inspection bullshit done. And I'm just like, can't you just wait a week? Just 1 week, wait. You know, why you got to do it on my last week? So I might not even be able to make it through my last week without saying fuck you and throwing my piss jug out the window. Yeah, that's what it boils down to. Is I think a lot of people are struggling right now, not just van lifers, obviously, with the way things are. And I want to make the best of it. And I'm trying to come up with new things I do in the process, you know, things that I make. I'm going to start some new channels on Odysee also, just experimentally, you know, because there's some content gaps on that platform, and I'd like to fill those gaps. You know, I like camera gear, I like tech, so I'll probably talk about a lot of that. Won't be able to review a lot of shit because I won't have a lot of money to buy shit. But, you know, I can give my thoughts on shit. You know, whatever interests me, really. And maybe one of those endeavors will take off on that platform. But I would like to fill in some of the gaps, you know. It's slowly happening. I see that on Odysee. And the reason why I think that's important is with all the constant barrage of censorship. You know, for example, I watch my news through, and I haven't been doing it as much lately. I've actually lowered my consumption of current events. But I watch through so many creators who are constantly worried about pissing the algorithm off. They're changing the very words they speak. They're not showing pictures that you could readily fucking go into a news article and see for yourself, or, you know, see on Twitter. Things that they show people on their various publications, they're afraid to show it or talk about it directly in videos where the entire point of the video is to talk about that issue. You know, whether it's riots, whether it's all the world unrest shit, and just all the crap that's going on. A lot of YouTube commentators are hamstrung into not speaking their minds. That's not me. If I can't say something on YouTube, I don't fucking put it on YouTube. Period. And the podcast is going to be one of those things that I just can't put it on YouTube. I'm still going to do this kind of shit on YouTube. Vlog, talk about my life, talk about my thoughts on life, my philosophies on how to deal with shit, minimalism, personal finance, how to be broke. It's going to be a whole lot of how to be broke successfully fucking videos in the future. Budget travel, that's going to be a thing. I'm going to be budgeting my ass all around this fucking country. And that's what I want to do. That's what my mini retirement, or maybe even my permanent retirement, is going to look like, is doing the best I can with as few resources as I have. You know, I would like to be successful, honestly, that, you know, I'd like to know that you guys value my content enough for me to make this a serious part of my living, to help support myself when I travel or get out in the Prius. But I'm realistic, too. I know that YouTube's no longer allowing me to grow. I get hard capped on all my videos, it seems, on the amount of views and impressions they get. It's just I need to experiment with other platforms, other forms of creativity outside the bounds of Google and Susan. And that's where I'm at with everything. But we'll see. You know, I'm really struggling to find my place in this world with creativity and shit, especially as fucked up as everything is. It's fucking four-wheelers hanging out here and shit. So, you know, just a quick update video today. Thank you all. Another thing I'm looking at vis-a-vis YouTube, I'm trying to, I don't know if you noticed, there's been less videos recently. I'm trying to get myself in the habit of not overproducing content to the point where you guys don't watch it. So I'm kind of got a formula for posting videos on YouTube now in terms of revenue, assuming I have the green icon, that is. I don't have an exact number yet. I'm experimenting with different numbers. But what I'm doing is I'll let a video ride until it's earned a certain amount of revenue through ads, or even donations for that matter. Donations obviously would speed this process up, but are not required right now because I'm in the truck is my income right now. But when it gets to the time where this is part of what I'm relying on for survival, letting a video earn revenue enough to compensate me for the time that I spend, you know, filming, editing, and researching for a particular video. And that's kind of what I'm looking at as far as, you know, my videos on YouTube go. So I'll put a video out, I'll wait till the views climb to a certain number, to where the CPMs get hit a lot. You know, I'm just gonna let a video ride until you guys consume it. You know, take your time, not in a hurry. And then once it achieves that threshold, produce my next video. And do that in such a way as I can. Now, some videos are going to tank regardless of that, and then if I see that happening, I'll just make the next video and call that video a loss. But I'm finding that when I let a video ride a while, it does better in terms of views and revenue from ad revenue. So in order to help survive and not waste my time making videos that no one watches or no one is interested in or none of that, just giving people time. Because I know time's a valuable thing. I mean, look at me. I'm quitting my job because I fucking want my time back. So I know time is a big ask. So if it only means I get to post one video a week because that's all you guys will consume, then that's that. You know. But right now I'm sitting around 1,100 views-ish will prompt me to post a new video on YouTube. That may change. I'm experimenting to see a good compromise between the bare minimum I should be compensated for my time making videos versus how much time you guys spend watching them. As far as the podcast that I'm planning on Odysee, the entirety of the podcast will be posted on Odysee, and I will probably pull a small clip from the podcast of something I think will fly on YouTube. It might be hard to find something, depending, you know how I get. But I'll probably do the podcast and then take clips, kind of like, you know, Joe Rogan has his little clip channel. It'll be like that, only if you want the whole podcast, you have to go to Odysee to watch the whole thing or listen to it, or be subscribed to my email list to download an audio version. And that's what I'm looking at. That's going forward when I come off the road. As far as live streams, I will still live stream complete just hangout type live streams, you know, maybe a mukbang or something, maybe talk, hang out, music. I am thinking of moving, you know, some of you have actually suggested this to me, moving my music streams to Twitch, because I think there's more of an audience on Twitch for that kind of shit than on YouTube. And so I probably will do that, because I'm just a budding, you know, hobbyist when it comes to that, and I think Twitch should be the place where I stream my hobbies. And I do plan on working on Twitch, getting affiliate, getting partner at some point. And I can't, you know, Twitch isn't a free speech platform either. So those are my thoughts on some of the things I'm going to do when I get out of the truck. And I'm still going to do adventure videos here on YouTube. Those will just be whenever, you know, if I want to go do something and film it, I'll just do it. I'm not worried about revenue in those situations. And people don't watch a lot of those anyway. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Another thing I'm going to be doing for the podcast, since it won't be a live format, because I really don't think DLive's doing too well right now in terms of free speech and being able to do what I want on there. Can't do it on Twitch, can't do it on YouTube. So I have to keep the podcast in a non-live format. However, I still want that interactivity. So what I'm thinking of doing is having a section of each podcast that addresses comments from the previous podcast. And as you know, sometimes that can send me into a rabbit hole. So if you end up watching my exclusive content on Odysee, and you have something to say or something you want to debate or something you think I missed that I should look at, by all means, post it in the comments. And you can post them in the comments here on YouTube. I see all my comments. So I will pull, for the first podcast I do, I will be pulling from comment. Even like if you comment on here, I'll be pulling from some of the better comments on YouTube that either trigger me. I know some of you love that triggered shit. So triggered shit might still happen. Or something I'm interested in, or something I want to debate, or something I agree with that I would think needs to kind of get passed along, telephone gamed along, so to speak. So by all means, commenting is important, and I'm going to integrate it into future podcasts. These will be long form, 2-hour max, just like my old podcasts, type deals. I'll try and keep them down to an hour, You know, some people don't have 2 hours, but it's going to be a format that you could listen to as well as watch. I'll do my best to keep it more audio oriented in terms of talking and commentary. It is going to have current events. It's going to have opinions. It's going to be an uncensored take on whatever the fuck's going on. And it, you know, think Tim Pool quartering type reaction stuff without the censorship that they self-impose on themselves. And it's impossible to do on YouTube. Just impossible. I wouldn't be able to do it here. I wish that would change, honestly. You know, I don't begrudge YouTube what they have done for me over the years. So I'm not going to completely leave YouTube, so don't worry if you don't feel like following me on these other platforms. Then you're just going to miss some of my content, not all of it. And I don't know, I just need to start having something off platform that's my baby to work on that I can watch grow. Because quite honestly, here on YouTube, I haven't seen growth in a long time. And that's not very motivating for me to continue this as an endeavor if I don't see growth. It's not so much about making money. I'm not looking to get rich. But I'd like to know that I have potential to grow, to expand, to maybe one day do full-time commentary or something like that. I know that's my strongest videos. You guys have said it in the past, and I've seen it. A lot of you like my other stuff, but always my strongest performing videos have been where I'm just talking. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm sitting in a fucking rest area, you know, where everyone's pissing and shitting, or if I'm in a little room in front of a green screen. I've always done best with my commentary because I apparently can just run my mouth for hours, non-stop. It's a disease. It's worse than COVID. Probably kills more people than COVID now that I think about it. That's my thoughts. That's where I plan on going. I've been meditating on this quite a bit over the past few days. And let me know what you think. Would you be interested in an uncensored, high production quality? Because I plan on putting some work into the podcast in terms of visual templates and stuff like that. Because I'm working on my 3D graphics and music as well. You know, I want to try and do a decent job because it forces me to practice some of the new skills I'm trying to work on. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not too worried about how podcast performs financially. And I'm not paywalling the shit. It's going to be viewer, listener supported, much like, you know, when I'm not going to sell it like I did before and put it behind a paywall. But at the same time, I know there are some of you who are more than happy to financially support my creative endeavors and the work I put into these things. And I'll leave it up to you guys on whether or not you feel it's worth it. And if not, then who knows? That'll be the end of the podcast, and I'll have to push my efforts to whatever it takes to survive. But if I can survive and do the podcast, I'll do the podcast. And I'll also have to figure out a mobile setup so I can do podcasts when I travel as well. But they won't be live format because honestly, live is really good if I can sit and pay attention to the comments and the questions. Whereas the podcast, I already got something to talk about and I want to get to it, and I often miss a bunch of your points. But if I work it together to where you guys make comments on the previous podcast, that there'll be a section. Yes, it's kind of an extension of the previous podcast because whatever subject matter that is, I'm sure that's what the comments will relate to. But it'll give you kind of a follow-up to whatever I do the show before. That's my thoughts. I've already got a name in mind for it. I won't announce that till the first one comes out. I'm going to be doing logos and coming up with motion 3D graphics and stuff like that. These are all projects on my list of shit to do, particularly once I'm not spending 70 hours a week driving. So I've got plans and shit. You know, today I had to take a 2-hour break just to make this fucking video, and I'm already starting to run a little long here. That's it. for this little update. One more week and I'll be done with this shit-ish. Please like and subscribe for more shit. But that ain't enough. You got to hit the bell so you'll be notified when I go live here on YouTube or when I do a premiere. I premiere all my videos, but I think it helps if you hit the bell. Some of you get to show up pretty regularly to those, and the reason I do the premieres is so that you guys will be notified when I post something, and maybe you want to come bullshit with me or chat during that premieres. But you know, that's one of the reasons I do that. I will also be standing up memberships on this channel at some point. Let me know if you'd be interested in that in the comments below, if you made it this far into the video. But I will be coming up with some benefits for channel membership here on YouTube. Yeah, they take 30%, but maybe if they make a little money off me, they'll grow my channel, you know? Maybe that's the secret of growth on YouTube, is you gotta fucking make money for them before they put any effort into, you know, expanding your reach or whatever. Because that is what motivates the world, making money. And but yeah, I will be doing channel memberships here on YouTube, but in the meantime, till I figure all that shit out, which I won't be able to do till I'm off the road, let me know if you'd be interested. If you think it's a bad idea, I won't put the join button on and do all of that, but I know some of you don't want to leave YouTube but do want to support the channel, and that'll be what that'll be for. And I will find ways of giving you benefits, maybe sending you, you know, links to the downloadable stuff that you can get for free through the email list, but you don't have to leave YouTube. You'll just be able to see the posts and the links that way. At least that's a theory of mine. Also, in the comments below, what kinds of benefits would you like to see if I did do channel memberships here on YouTube? What kinds of perks do you think? I know you can get some icons. I will develop icons and graphics and all of that shit like it wants. I have to learn how to do all of that still. To where when we're in the live stream, you get little things that distinguish you, I guess. I don't know how that works, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. It's going to be fucking a little, you know, clunky when I start out. But give me some ideas in the comments. I want to hear from you about things you'd like to see that you would pay like $5 a month for. You know, that's what I'm looking at, $5 a month on there. And if enough people signed up for that, then I could just make content all the time. I would like to do that, honestly. But I don't know that there's enough people willing to do that at this point, so I'm not counting on it. But I'm going to leave the door open. Whether or not people walk through it is a whole other fucking thing. But you're not going to be missing out if you don't, because like I said, the podcast is still going to be free. You know, the majority of my content is going to be free, and I'm going to try and do perks in a way that just augments the content or gives you something a little extra, you know, and I'll figure that out. But give me some ideas down below what you would find, you know, or maybe you just think $5 a month is good enough to just support what I already do. And there's a category of people that have done that over the years that are like, I don't give a fuck, just keep doing what you're doing, here you go, I like what you're doing. But I do want to give something back to people who support the channel. I know you guys want merch. I don't want to get in the merch business. I looked at what's involved with it. I just really don't want to manage it. Time is already a crunch as it is, and plus managing merch when I travel, probably not the best thing to do. Like, you know, and what really brought that to light is Unstoppable Morgan. I'm mentioning her a lot lately. She had to stop and like paint flags for 4 days to fill orders for her, you know, side gig, and that's not. I don't want to get in the merch business, you know. If I get big enough and I can find somebody that I can, you know, handle the merch for me type situation, hands off, you know, where I just promote it and sell it, and then everyone else does all the making and shipping and all of that, tracking orders and shit. If I get in a situation where I'm big enough for that, essentially affiliate type stuff, I'll do that. I might look at developing some custom shit. But I know some of you guys have like, you want me to fucking put out some merch with some of my catchphrases and shit, quirky shit that I say. I'll figure it out, but I don't want to get in the merch business to where I'm directly shipping things and making things. You know, I might make a design and farm it out to somebody. I know some of you have mentioned like t-shirt companies and all of that. And I'm also going to be very careful because I'm going to have this uncensored podcast out there that may piss people off, and I don't want a lot of avenues for being canceled. You know, I'm already hard to cancel as it is. So I don't want to become reliant on an income stream that could be canceled because somebody doesn't like some shit I said. That's ultimately what it comes to, which is another reason why I don't put a lot of stock in my future on YouTube at this point. Sooner or later, I'm going to say something that this channel will disappear, you know, and you'll be like, where'd he go? And some of you will be following my email list and seeing my other shit on, you know, other platforms like Odysee, and you'll be like, oh, I'll just go over there and see what the hell's going on. And then some people will be like, oh, well, he's gone, and they'll move on to the next creator until they get banned or whatever. You know, it's a shit show on YouTube, and I'd like to see it turn around. I really would. I really keep hoping that YouTube will snap out of this bullshit that they've been in over the past three years, pretty much. They've been fucking with creators, and I've been triggered by it so much, and it's continued to this day. Just arbitrary rule changes, and just, you never know. Yeah, I don't ever have confidence in YouTube as a long-term business plan to build a brand on. I don't even think you can, unless you have certain really marketable things, that I don't think you can really build your brand easily on YouTube. I know people that haven't even had the success that I've had on YouTube over the years, and they never got there, you know. And I think part of it could be your content, but the other part of it is definitely the algorithms and how they treat you. And they don't ever tell you what to do. They don't tell you the way to work within the system that they provide. It's all vague, and you just got to guess at what different things cause growth and what different things don't. It's weird, you know. And now with the shadow quarantining of content, as we saw with PewDiePie's channel recently, so no longer shadow ban, shadow quarantine. You know, that's a new one. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just kind of do your homework on that. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but there is algorithmic fucking fuckery with one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. So there's that. That's it for this video. Have a nice motherfucking day. And when you get done having a nice motherfucking day, or Halloween, if you're allowed to have Halloween, most people aren't, head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com. Sign up for my free email list, where I will be emailing you whenever I put out one of those podcasts or some off-platform content, or when I plan on going live. I will, when I start getting off the road and I start live streaming again, I will be emailing out whenever I go on Twitch or whenever I plan a YouTube live stream. So that way you get a heads up instead of this last minute shit like I have to do now on the road. I can't schedule things while I'm driving a truck. That's the reason why you get such short notice on shit on here. So yeah, that's it. I gotta get back. I gotta edit this, which will probably take the other hour of my break, and then I'll have to post it later tonight as a premiere that you're watching right now. This is kind of real. I'm trying to get this out Halloween evening, so you have something to do while you're not going to Halloween parties or taking your kids trick-or-treating or whatever the fuck it is you would normally be doing if we weren't in the new normal. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit. I used to love Halloween. I wonder if Halloween's canceled forever now because we're all afraid of fucking stupid, non-existent fucking bullshit viruses that don't fucking kill anybody. Just make you sick. It's fucking horse shit.